Network. Because you can handle the truth.
We are coming to you live from the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Call in and ask a question at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. You can receive a copy of our Sunday newsletter simply by writing Frank at targetedmassachusetts.org. In the subject line, type newsletter or visit our site at targetedmassachusetts.org. And in the navigation, go to Contact Information. When completed, click Submit or call me in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. We also have Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference. That's available to you on free conference call. We have switched from GoToMeeting. The number is 515-604-9715. Access code 708922. ID targeted. If you're coming in by computer, type freeconferencecall.com/wall/targeted. Tonight, we continue to discuss the hive mind. And it's my opinion that through human evolution, the populace will develop on its own the hive mind or something very similar, preserving individuality. Now, Dr. Robert Duncan has many theories on it. He's very well respected. And on occasion, we have spoken and talked about issues. He once said that he had a friend in Europe who called him up crying because he did not know whether to unplug his AI or leave it running. Where that went, I don't know. But through the use of hive minds, they are trying to do the following. They are trying to achieve increased intelligence, the ability of brainstorming, interrogation, mind control, accelerated education, predictions of mass influence, rapid communications, Now, in the Iraqi war, we controlled 22% of the population by way of mind control. And we used the active denial system to make the Iraqi troops hear Allah and lay down their weapons. Dr. Duncan was one of the people who worked on that effectively to make it happen. But he would like the public to understand the military is way ahead of technological weaponry, way more than the civilian population or industry. But he states universities are now trying to catch up. MIT has already inserted a microchip into persons that have memory loss. One example of a successful experiment is a rat that had a microchip implanted to record memory. Once the information was recorded in the chip, they went ahead and implanted the same chip into another rat that was fresh to the study. And this new rat was able to have the memory of the previous rat's actions. He has another report in which the military experimented with an ape and a young girl. In this experiment, the ape's brain was connected to the young girl's brain. The expectation was that the ape would recognize himself through the girl's brain memory. Unfortunately, this experiment went sideways, and the ape ended up killing the little girl. I always hoped that was a simulation, but it seems to be proven as fact. Dr. Duncan stated also that the military is currently able to use 4 to 6 people in the cybernetic Hive mind project at the same time. The communication now is able to process at the speed of thought. So if you think of something, the 4 or 5 others will have the same thought formulated. He goes on to say the CIA, MI5, MI6, and others love this technology, for it is ideal interrogation material. No one would be able to hide their thoughts and would be able to read your dreams. No privacy at all. Nothing would be hidden and kept. This is the most mind-blowing and scary revelation. Once again, I keep going back to Aeon Flux and Minority Report. We are at the edge of a revolution that would end privacy forever. At this point in time, the military can insert thoughts, and we know this type of weaponry was first used, as I mentioned, in Iraq. Dr. Duncan admitted to this during his presentation. He personally worked on the Voice of God technology that was used. The military inserted the voice of Allah and to the soldiers to put their weapons down. We had won the war right after that event. The military can use this to manipulate the masses without them being so aware. Now we have to ask ourselves, is this happening right now? Can it be used to persuade masses to migrate? Can it be used to insert thoughts of rape, violence, and killing on a mass scale? This God voice technology mimics spiritual realms. Voices of the so-called dead, voice of God, voice of angels, much food for thought. In 2012, the Pittsburgh Gazette reported the insertion of a microchip in a human brain for the purpose of helping this person instigate motion. This experiment has been replicated. He refers to another very worrisome military program called the hypergame theory, where they use strategies to manipulate chosen victims and manipulate them to do the things that are irrational and walk them to their own deaths. He calls this, it's a eugenics program. He goes on to say, my experience in the last 5 years has led me to believe the dark projections and actively engaging the public. I hear the chatter. I sense the electric atmosphere and feel the low frequency waves all around me. Many victims have reported electronic assaults all over the world. I'd just like to insert at this time the Cuban and Chinese diplomats who are still getting the same symptoms. They are not allowed to speak publicly, although Kathleen Werner of China has come forward. Her mother has come forward. And a very distinguished scientist from California stated in her report that this was a microwave assault, pulsed microwaves. Is this part of the cybernetics program? I've also noticed many on social media and alternative news are in sync in reporting similar topics, aside from the Google algorithms. I believe we are experiencing the cybernetic hive mind in play, taking into account the metals and nanoparticles being sprayed in our atmosphere that are being inhaled. I would just like to say that since the government first started putting aluminum in the jet fuel of their jet engines, fighters, and so on, that was a long time ago. But since then, we've had hundreds of tons dumped from the atmosphere just to lubricate the high-performance jet engines. I see several projects being prepared for the final deception. I think he missed a word there. Blue Beam Project, etc. I don't believe in schizophrenia, nor multiple personalities. I believe in the spiritual realm and possession, but with this technology, it can be considered the perfect mind control or assassination weapon. This is where we are in our human existence. Technology has passed the point of no return. This is a very dangerous time to be a human. And he goes on to say that he has presentations on YouTube, and I know we've all watched them thoroughly. This article, next article, I'm getting away from the hive mind and we're moving towards Edward Snowden. We've started out looking at MKUltra, and now we are looking at the sources and the revelations that have come forth with Edward Snowden and Julian Assange and others that we don't know. Most people involved in the tech scene have at least one friend who has been warning everyone that they know about protecting their digital trail for years, and have watched that friend get accused of being a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. But is the year that proved you're paranoid here? Is your friend right? It's now a matter of public record that the NSA collects and stores the calling records of domestic phone calls, tracks the location of millions of mobile devices worldwide, infiltrates the data links between the data centers of tech companies that are used by millions of Americans, piggybacks onto commercial tracking mechanisms, collected potentially sensitive online metadata for years, and actively worked to undermine the privacy and security. Okay, folks, we have to go to commercial. Thank you so much.
Church and state and everything they tell you. Believe in me, I'm with the high command.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855, the number 2, keep it today.
We are coming to you live from the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. You can call in and ask a question at 800-313-9443, or you can listen at 605-313-0163. You can receive a copy of our Sunday newsletter simply by writing Frank at targetedmassachusetts.org. In the subject line, type newsletter, or visit our site at targetedmassachusetts.org. And in the navigation, go to Contact Information. When completed, click Submit. Or call me in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference takes place Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern. The telephone number is 515-604-9715. Access code 708922. ID targeted. By computer, type freeconferencecall.com/wall/targeted. In case you've just tuned in, tonight we have finished up discussing the hive mind, and we have used a lot of information provided by Robert Duncan. And he is a very brilliant scientist, and he is very much on our side. There are so many people that are running for office, and we back them with our email addresses and signatures, and they disappear. Never to be seen again, apparently. But Dr. Robert Duncan is always there. So let me pick up where I left off here. A lot of these signals are piggybacked onto commercial tracking mechanisms, collected potentially sensitive online metadata for years, and actively worked to undermine the privacy and security, all the measures that underpin the internet. Considering the purported size of the Snowden cache, that could be the tip of the metaphorical iceberg. And while the NSA story alone undoubtedly gives the paranoid plenty of reasons to say, "I told you so," or a slew of other reports from this year gave them even more reasons to retreat into the wilderness and start subsistence farming. For instance, the ACLU released a cache of documents showing that police around the country are collecting license plate scanner information that could be used to track physical locations of many Americans. Naturally, without consistent retention policies. Some are 5 minutes, some are 5 years. Because of the way technology works, these devices snap photos of every passing car, not just those registered to people suspected of crimes. Virtually all of the data license plate readers gather 1% of people that have actually committed a crime. The other 99% are citizens like you and I. Okay, folks, we have to end, make some bills. Thank you.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Many people write us about their experience with Extendivite. Allow me to read you some from Amazon.com. It really does work like the review says it does. I cannot believe that after the first few days, I didn't feel as sluggish or clogged up. It has had a profound impact on my physical, emotional well-being. I'm skeptical as most people about products and their claims, and I never write reviews, but this is a wonderful product and I recommend it to everyone. Great product. It has brought my blood pressure from the mid-150s over the 80s to the mid-130s over mid-80s, along with diet and exercise in just the past couple of months. Excellent. Thank you, David. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
Good evening. We are coming to you live from the Republic, where you can handle the truth. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. You can call in and ask a question at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference is held Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. The call-in number is 515-604-9715. Access code 708922. The ID is targeted. By computer, type in freeconferencecall.com/wall/targeted. Okay, tonight we are leaving Robert Duncan and we are moving towards Edward Snowden. I will pick up where I left off. I'd like to say briefly that the ACLU has been very, very active, as they are, but especially now with all this technology surfacing. Rates for the data collected by the programs that ACLU used was often staggering. Now, with any of these systems, the data set is crucial. Such as AI, if you are using a data set that is flawed or incorrect to begin with, obviously the final output is going to be flawed. So, when you pull together huge databases of this type of location information, it can create incredibly intimate portraits of how the individual lives their life, including where they work, which friends they visit, and what doctors they see. The Associated report was aptly titled, "You Are Being Tracked." Now, this is going to blow a few minds. Speaking of being tracked, an enterprising hacker discovered that the Easy Pass he used to make paying tolls simpler was being read all around New York City. It turns out the city had been tracking Easy Passes for years as a way to measure traffic patterns. The city wasn't very willing to reveal how long that the data had been retained, or just how much information was being collected by these clandestine readers. But the company that provides the RFID readers for the city said it scrambles the tag IDs to make them anonymous and only held it for a few minutes to compare against other traffic. Doubtful, but that's what they say. Still, even if there are significant safeguards in place, it's ample evidence that the technology you let into your life that's capable of tracking you might not always be used in the ways that you expect. Now, NSA has backed down a little bit this year. I think that a few of you probably have heard that NSA wants to stop reading people's cell phones, stop the massive surveillance. But I can't see it, but they're saying it, so when important people talk, I listen. So speaking of technology, with obviously exploitable surveillance capabilities, someone might be watching you through your laptop's webcam without even activating the warning light. Okay, we have Mike from Kentucky. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, good evening. Yeah, I noticed the possibility of assembling data on people using phones way back when I first saw that Clear and Present Danger movie where the girlfriend of a White House, let's see, how did it go? It was a White House secretary who had a boyfriend who was a Latin lover, and what she didn't know is he was playing intelligence chief for a drug cartel, cocaine drug lord in Colombia. A parody of, what was his name, Pablo Escobar. This guy was named Escobedo. But they had 7 words or something on her answer machine. The machine is on Moira. And that movie came out like 1993 or 4, and of course, Tom Clancy researched that. And they made sure on C-SPAN 2, I think it was, they played this interview over and over and over with Tom Clancy where he talked about how he would get out the whiskey and these guys that were military fans of his, because Ronald Reagan, made him famous with The Hunt for Red October because he said it was one of his favorite books. So all of a sudden he's a darling of the military, and he'd get them a little bit tipsy with some whiskey, get them to talk, and then he'd whip out this book called the O-S-H-I-T book.
Oh.
And they played that on C-SPAN over and over again so that they could say that word. But what it was probably some Jane's manual or something. But he'd bring this book out, and they'd say, "Oh, bleep, this is declassified." They couldn't believe this stuff. Stuff had been declassified that was in that book, and so that got them to with being inebriated. They would talk about stuff that they weren't really supposed to talk about, and so he was able to get some of the plot devices for his novels that way. And that includes the Clear and Present Danger series where Jack Ryan's character was taken over by Harrison Ford. Well, in that movie, they depict the listening posts in America, which is not really accurate, but they show like a military base in Arizona or something. And in the very early days of the cell phones, they were scanning all of the cell phones in South America to find this guy. And now they only had, some portion of his voice print. The machine is on Moira. And it depicts them able to tell that he was educated in the United States, he's Cuban, and da-da-da, and that by doing that, they found out who he is and which drug kingpin he's working for. And
that sounds like Bill Binney's program after the government got through with it. Because
well, exactly. Thin Thread was modified to become what was it called? His program was Thin Thread. It was designed to protect domestic privacy and
exactly.
So that they wouldn't be forsworn. But the whole thing is bullcrap because the feeds coming out of these Naris and Variant devices go to the entire Five Eyes network, and back when it was known as Echelon, years before the Patriot Act, all of these other countries were getting this data. So Canada, Australia, New Zealand, England, all of the Five Eyes were supposed to take this data, filter it, and let us know because it was unethical for us to spy on our own people, supposedly. And then, of course, at some point, Israel got in all the mix with their Amdocs and Infosys. They were following all the billing, so they could piece together who was talking to who and who associated with who, even before the Hancock software that AT&T developed, which keeps track of you and all of those around you that you interact with out to 2 rings of associations. So you can imagine if they're looking at 80,000 or 180,000 targets, persons of interest, or whatever you want to call them. Just do the math. That multiplies out. They end up watching everybody on the planet, basically, and that it is something
right.
like 4.5 million people that are connected. So they have to have some levels of artificial intelligence to do that, and have any hope of keeping track of people. But as William Binney points out, they're buried under data, so they can do lots of Monday morning quarterbacking and look at all of this data that they've recorded after the fact when a terrorist incident occurs. The more of these terrorist incidents that occur, the better they get at predicting what's going on. So they don't really want to stop terrorism right now, I don't think, because it allows them to predict when a natural event will occur by going back through the data. Like the example that I give is that guy that shot up the Republican baseball practice.
Okay. Yeah.
He showed up, and he goes, "Hey, is this the Republicans' baseball practice?" And somebody said, "Yeah," and he locks and loads and starts shooting. Well, the next day, if you followed the news reports, within 24 hours, they had given redacted reports out to the media for every communication that guy had ever had with Congress that they wanted the media to have. And the way they was able to do that with this Google for Everybody called X Key Score. Once you have a target, you can search all of their interactions because their voice print, their metrics, their device fingerprint, and known associates. You know, when you're around these devices, laptops, computers, phones, if they have a microphone and or a camera, then you're, even for people that you don't really know, like you're at the bus stop with somebody, hey, the weather's pretty good. You know, you say more than 10 words, they've got your voice print, and your voice print becomes associated with that person's device fingerprint.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
It's all about association.
Right.
If you look at Bill Binney's program, when he had a clean data set and he ran information through there, millions of items, if he got 2 or 3 good items out at the top, he was very, very pleased because it's in tiers, nodes.
Yeah, they can start building the associations and start sifting and looking closer at those that might be engaging in stuff that they wanted to scrutinize or try to filter for potential
exactly
bad actors. But now the Trailblazer just sucked up everything. Trailblazer took basically a lot of the stuff that Benny was working on, and they just took all the encryption off of everything, and it all gets stored in Bluffdale. That's why Bluffdale has to be so big. It is so big.
I was just going to say that. It's
bigger than the entire town I'm in. I did a photo comparison, and our entire state university here, Morehead State University in Morehead, Kentucky, from the football field all the way over to the old high school where Morehead High School was. That's how big Bluffdale is. And, you know, when I've shown that to some people that were like science-type students, they're like, oh, that's not to scale or something. They try to nitpick it apart because they don't want to believe it's that big. And,
it is that big because it was crammed in there so tight you couldn't get a credit card between any of the data.
Well, Benny says that all of the metadata for all of the phones on the entire planet could fit in a 20 by 40-foot room with racks and room for cooling, you know, with conventional commercially available memory modules that we know about, like, you know, 1 terabyte thumb drives or something.
Oh, okay, live. All right.
The entire studio that I have for TV is not that big. All right, so when you look at, and I did a photo comparison because of that. I said, well, this is about as big as the room I was sitting in. And so I went and looked at the different Greenpeace photos, flyovers with their blimps of Bluffdale, and I looked at the comparison for the size of the cars and trucks and air conditioning units and the width of the streets. And I said, oh, well, I can take an aerial photo of this town and do a size comparison. And sure enough, on one end of their compound, they have probably a pond that's about an acre-foot. I don't know how deep it is, but it's got like a tarp over it to control evaporation because, I mean, it's Utah. It's very arid and low humidity. So they've got to control the evaporation off of that. It's very close to the same size as a football field with a track on it with one end of that compound. So you can compare it directly to the small-town regional university in our town. You know, you go from that football field all the way to the other end of the campus, whatever that is, 3/4 of a mile. It's, I don't know, 7 or 8 football fields, and that's that's the same size as our entire university campus in this town. And people just don't want to believe that that's all computer complexes. Well, the Salt Lake City Tribune, I think, the newspaper out there, literally leaked out the classified information. You weren't supposed to know that they use 6.5 million gallons of water a month to cool the servers.
Wow.
They're building a bigger complex than that in San Antonio, and because of the environmental feasibility study that they had to do on Fort Meade, they have scuttled a 36-hole golf course to build another compound on Fort Meade that's even bigger.
Okay, Mike, we have to go to commercial. If you want to hang in there, that's fine.
Yeah.
We won't have too much time, though.
I know.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcast. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Good evening. We are coming to you live from the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. We give you news that mainstream media won't even touch. We give our targeted individuals news every night. My name is Frank Allen, and I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, I'm going to get right to it. We don't have too much time. I just wanted to remind everybody that Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference is held Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Phone 515-604-9715. Access code 708922. ID targeted by computer freeconferencecall.com/wall/targeted. Okay, Mike, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
The potential for manufacturing consensus and the hive mind is probably beyond most people's ability to conceive of what they're probably going to be increasingly able to do. But with the example I gave with the machine is on, Moira, I think the machine has been on for a lot longer than people realize. And William Binney admits that he couldn't possibly know everything that was going on at the NSA. There's so many different compartmentalized programs that even though he gave himself, I guess, the title World Technical Director, but there's so many different compartmentalized programs across the, whatever it is, 17 or 19 intelligence agencies, that nobody knows what's going on. There's no real oversight. There's like ridiculous amounts of money, and they can take that money and do black ops fundraiser projects, beyond what we know about with InQtel, their investment thing. So it really is the shadow government. I mean, it's beyond congressional oversight, and as Chucky Schumer said, and I think he has good reason to know this, when he told Trump that he's not a smart businessman for messing with the intelligence community, because they can mess with you 6 ways from Sunday, it's because probably Chuck Schumer has been told what's what and been shown some things about himself to keep him in line. And blackmail or extortion is probably right across this government. The corruption is, well, it reminds me of the book of Hosea. Make a chain for the land is full of bloody crimes.
I can't wait till the swamp's empty. I wonder when that's going to happen.
Well, I think they're draining the swamp, but more swamp creatures are coming right on in. I mean,
fortunately, a lot of the technology that is used on we, the targeted individuals, is also coming to the surface. Fortunately, I don't know. I mean, the National Security Council has so many patents socked away under national security. It's hard for us to even imagine what they've got. Okay, Mike, we're going to have to close for tonight.
All right, man. Thanks for taking my call, dude.
Thank you.
Try to get on one of these conference calls sometime.
Sure. Love to have you. It's going on right now.
Thanks.
Hey, I'd like to thank my listeners. I'd like to thank John and Sam. And good night.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
This is Arby's, 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 is